Good evening, folks. Katie Oliver here, and tonight's topic is overfishing. Overfishing is the process of fishing a given species so much that it cannot replenish its own population at the rate the fish are being killed. It's a growing problem worldwide, with species like the shortfin mako shark, the white steenbras, and the small-tooth sawfish becoming vulnerable, endangered, or even critically endangered. Fish species often become vulnerable due to loose or non-existent policy regulations or illegal fishing. Remember when your grade school teacher would step out of the room and in seconds the whole place turns into chaos? All rules thrown out the window, absolute anarchy, no regard for humanity. Well, that's what's happening to our oceans. In 2018, the UN released their annual analysis of the state of the world's fish and noted 93% of marine fisheries worldwide are fished at or beyond sustainable catch levels, and 29% of the world's global fish stocks are overfished. Taking too many of one fish from the population harms the fragile ecosystem and can kill off much more marine life in the process. But ironically, this would not happen without government subsidies, as this short clip shows. Every coastal country has an exclusive economic zone that gives them maritime rights to 200 nautical miles away from their borders. But beyond this area, it's fair game. 58% of the ocean surface is in these highly unregulated zones. This is where the subsidies come in. Governments pay deep-sea fisheries to get to these unregulated zones, totaling about 213 million AUD per year. Most of this payment is to get boats to and from these zones, which is costly and wastes tons of fuel in the process. Just another example of the government trying to help and ultimately making things worse. So why are they providing these subsidies? Well, the fisheries would operate at a $70 million deficit without them. And unfortunately, while subsidies indirectly contribute to environmental degradation, it's actually pretty good for the consumer. Overfishing not only increases the supply of fish, but this surplus causes a drop in prices, so you don't have to worry about breaking your wallet for that salmon you've been craving. But is it really worth it? You get cheap fish, but poor Nemo dies. According to researcher Daniel Pauly of the University of British Columbia, these fishing techniques burn 1.1 billion liters of fuel annually and target vulnerable stocks while destroying their habitat in the process. Plus, the plastic most abundant in our oceans is from fishing tools. A way to combat overfishing is to establish marine reserves, which ban fishing in certain areas. And the UN is starting to consider making all international waters marine reserves. In the meantime, though, you can have an impact. You kids are always on your cellular phones anyway, so why not do something useful with them for once? Consider calling your local representative to ask them to limit fishery subsidies. You can also donate or volunteer for organizations like the World Wildlife Fund when buying fish, or be a responsible seafood consumer and ask for Marine Stewardship Council or Aquaculture Stewardship Council independently certified seafood. You can also stop eating fish entirely or avoid buying threatened fish species. Go on the IUCN Red List of threatened species to find out if your favorite fish are threatened. Thank you for watching this episode of The More You Know. Tune in next week for our topic, Will Soda Replace Water Entirely?